Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos. Washington, D.C. did not cut it last night. We saw that. They had a Game 7, then they had a game in Boston versus the Celtics. Now, in the Game 7, Capitals lose at home 2-0. What does this mean? It means Ovechkin, Alexander Ovechkin, it's time for you to go find a new team. Because obviously in Washington with the Capitals, you've been there 10 plus years. It's not worked out. You guys can't get a Stanley Cup, and you've done all you can do. So my suggestion, pull a KD, pull a LeBron, hit up Steven Stamkos, or hit up somebody out in Anaheim, maybe even the Kings, and tell them that you want to win a championship and get the heck out of Dodge. Alexander Ovechkin, you're a great player. Sidney Crosby at this point is transcending your legacy. What do I mean by that? He's passing you. He's better. He's worth more as far as intrinsic value to many hockey fans all over the world. So if I were you, Alexander Ovechkin, I would go ahead and get a first-class flight to somewhere new, because Crosby, it looks like he's going for another championship, and if he does that, we might have to start talking about him being in a discussion for with the great one, and I don't say that lightly. Now, there was 2 Game 7s last night. The Penguins will play Ottawa, but Anaheim, they beat the Oilers last night, so bye-bye Connor McDavid. See you back at the crib. They will play Nashville in the West Finals. And Nashville, they're ready for this. They're not used to this kind of hockey in Nashville. Those Predators, I'm going to have to run down and check out a game to see the Predators. My buddy, Finn, stays in Nashville. Gallatin, got to run down there and see what's going on. Now, I will say this. Anaheim's been there before. So can Nashville handle this spotlight? I don't know. We have to wait and see the rest of these playoffs. See how they play out. That'll be the Western Conference Finals. Eastern Conference Finals will be Penguins in Ottawa, as I stated. Now, NBA-wise, can we get a decent games in these playoffs? Everything has been a slapping. Did you see the Empire last night? Every team in the playoffs seems to be getting slapped like Cookie did old girl Nessa off Empire. I mean, the talent disparity indeed is very, very low. The talent disparity is very, very high, because you've got teams that are coming to each other's court. And the only entertaining game we had was the other night, Spurs and Rockets. But this Boston game, this Boston-Washington series, yeah, it's 3-2, but everybody's getting busted every time they step on the court if they're not at the crib. Boston beats Washington by 22 last night, had to give up the 26-point run the other day at Washington. And then Isaiah Thomas, he was locked up. But Avery Bradley, what did my man do? He came through, had 29 points. He's got the D, and he's got the O. Kind of a little bit of a mixture of Pat Bev, but I like him a little more because he's longer, can stretch the floor. He's got the long arms like the blue guy from Space Jam, the Monstar. Now, the most entertaining game of the playoffs, as I stated, Spurs versus Rockets, Claw versus De Beer, Game 5. You saw that the other night. Overtime, but Manu, what did he do? Reached in Chef Beard's pot and blocked his shot at the buzzer of overtime. That's a great game. That's the games that we looked forward to seeing this year that we just frankly didn't get. It's a preconceived, not even preconceived. It's imminent that the Cavs and the Warriors are playing the finals. They've just been too strong. 16-0? 16-0? What Tupac say? 16? Cavs and Warriors? These playoffs just haven't been quite entertaining, but we'll have to wait for the main attraction to get here. It's kind of like waiting in line at Mickey D's and you already ordered your food, and it's like, I know what I'm going to get, but when will I get it? That's kind of the predicament that us as NBA fans are in right now. Now, will Kawhi play tonight against the Rockets? I don't know. They're up 3-2. They got a cushion. They got a little bit of losing insurance, but it's Pop's call. Houston keeps a full cup at the Toyota Center. They hit threes all the time. 19 threes the other day. Buckets all night. Then they'll head back cross state because they have to go back to San Antonio for Game 7. And boy, I can't wait to watch it. Will the Claw be healthy? I don't know, because if he's not healthy, can he D-up James Harden and stop all those and-ones he gets from 3? Can he do anything with James Harden? Or are they going to have to watch Pat Bev? Because Pat Bev, that offense has gone to another level. Don't sit here and think that I'm just saying that, hyping him, but I'm prognosticating that Pat Bev will be the X factor in Game 7 if they have to go back to San Antonio. Remember, I said that. Now, NBA-wise, we carry on. Jeremy Lin, if you didn't read about it, you definitely should. Jeremy Lin sheds light on racism and his experience with Randy Foy on his podcast. He talked about when he was at Harvard, the things that people would say to him. One game at Cornell, they're using profanity to match with the egregious term that people use to classify Asian Americans or Asians in general. And I just think it was telling to hear him talk about when he first came into the league and when he started to ball out in 2012 and the Linsanity craze went on. He wanted to distance himself from that whole phenomenon. He got tired of being called Linsanity. Knew that wasn't his name, but he mentioned that since time's gone on and he's gotten more mature, and they say wisdom comes with age. He's learned to not necessarily internalize that it doesn't affect his game like it did in college, because he did admit in college hearing those things from the crowd about him being Asian really did affect his game somewhat. So just seeing him mature, he said it was much less prevalent in the NBA, which is good to know. People are going to a professional event. They should at least know how to act. That guy from the Sixers didn't against Russell Westbrook earlier in the season when he flipped them two birds. But he has said that it has tapered off in the NBA, and that's a good thing, because people, when they go to their place of business, shouldn't deal with that, especially Jeremy Lin. The guy's, yeah, he's Asian, but he balls to be Asian. He balls. And not just at Harvard. He's doing it right now for the Nets. So pay attention to Jeremy Lin. That $36 million contract, he's earned it. So enjoy it. He said he didn't before, but he should now. Draymond Green called Kelly Olynyk a dirty player. Now, I can't believe Draymond would even come out and speak on anybody being a dirty player. This is the sentiment that many individuals have shared across the sports world. Draymond, I'm surprised by now you have not gotten an endorsement by Planters or Emerald Nuts, because, boy, it would sure fit the description. Now, I won't go too far into detail, but Draymond, you are the last person that should be calling anybody a dirty player, because you may not try to make it look blatant, but you sneak a little and a little So, Draymond, slow your roll. Kelly Olynyk, he's not on your team. Yeah, I know you feel like you can say that because you probably feel like you won't see him in the finals anyway, because he won't get past LeBron, so you'll talk all the trash you want about him. How about you worry about winning the Western Conference Finals and playing well in the finals, if you guys do make it? How about you worry about that? Because, honestly, when we talk about dirty players and cheap shots, you're not too far down the list. Now, in the NFL, Michael Floyd signs with the Vikings post DUI, got the ring with the Pats. Didn't play, though, but he got the ring. But I think that's a good addition for the Vikings. Hopefully Sam Bradford can find this guy. Sam Bradford. Where is the Oklahoma Sam Bradford? If anybody sees him, put out a PSA or an Amber Alert for this guy. We need to find where the old Sam Bradford is. Come out. Let's let Minnesota see you a little bit. Peyton Manning getting a statue outside of Lucas Oil, I've got no problem with it, because it is the house that Peyton built. Without Peyton, you guys are still in the RCA Dome. That's just my personal opinion. So, of course, you got to bread this guy out. He's the great one, the GOAT. The GOAT of the regular season. But we all saw the Super Bowl this year. We know who the GOAT is. But we'll talk about that another day. Sad news, Chris Berman. His wife dies in a car crash yesterday. Very disappointing, because he's the face that we come to know and love on NFL Live. Just retired this past season, and I'm pretty sure he was looking forward to enjoying that retirement with his lady. And just very sad for him and his family. Thoughts and prayers go out to you guys from Zono Sports and from my immediate circle, because I'm sure people share the same thoughts. But definitely stay tuned to Zono Sports. I'm going to give you juice every Tuesday, Thursday. Looking at starting up a podcast. So if you're interested in a podcast, somebody comment on the video. Tell me, where's the podcast, Zoe? Where's the podcast? If you want a podcast, tell me you want a podcast, because I'll deliver it. I'll deliver it faster than Panera will come to your home or office. Thank you for watching the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos.